Stay frosty and check out redzonecoins.com for the cheapest, fastest coins on the market. Use code DIRECTOR at checkout for 15% off.
Kia ora, brothers. What's up? It's the Director. Chargers fans, it's been a pretty tough year if you have watched the Bolts, because week after week, tragic loss after tragic loss. Some fans are questioning whether or not to even tune in on Sundays anymore, and to that I gotta say, I don't blame you. But in this video, I wanted to thoroughly explain why it's not time to give up on the Bolts and why you should still be invested in this team each and every week. And yes, I'm sure the title gave it away. It's because of Justin Herbert. Now, I teased this topic a little bit in my last video, but I felt it was important enough to give this point its own video as well, because it's a pretty big deal, guys. If you step back and look at it, it's a really big deal. Justin Herbert is 100% the reason why Chargers fans should stay invested in this season, regardless of our record, because he's doing something that has never been done in the history of the NFL. He is having the single most best rookie season that we have ever seen. The kind of numbers that you would expect from modern day greats like Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and even Patrick Mahomes. Now, before you roll your eyes and shake your head because Herbert has only accounted for just one win in that time, I must remind you, not a single one of those losses fall on him. Bad coaching, injured players, and ultimately bad luck are what account for our atrocious record so far. And yeah, it sucks for now, and it's concerning for now, but these are things that can only get better going into next season. What we do have is a franchise quarterback, and a damn good one at that. In this video, I'm going to explain what exactly makes this season so special and different from any other rookie year that we have ever seen, as well as why to keep cheering him on Sundays, because shockingly, he's not alone, because this has been one of the strongest quarterback classes we've seen since the infamous 2004 draft, containing Eli Manning, Big Ben Roethlisberger, and even Phillip Rivers. Herbert has some competition this year. So even if you think our playoff hopes are gone, even if you're discouraged by the horrible losses on repeat, there is still a big reason to root for this season, and his name is Justin Herbert. Now, before we get into this video, guys, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Chargers content. The small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot. Let's get into this video. Lights, camera,
Action!
All right, Chargers fans, you know the drill. I cannot go a week without throwing massive amounts of praise at our boy, Justin Herbert. And even though at times I feel like it does become redundant, I also recognize why it's appropriate to keep featuring him. And it's because we've never seen anything like him before. He's breaking records on a weekly basis and is showing no signs of slowing down. This is something that deserves to be tracked every step of the way, because we may never see it again in our lifetimes. So let's get into it. What exactly is making Justin Herbert so special this year? Well, I'm sure any Chargers fans with eyeballs could tell you Justin Herbert looks good. He looks really good. But how good are we talking? Let's start with the juicy stat breakdown, because secretly, I know most people hate it, but I love looking at stats. So far, Justin Herbert has thrown for 2,146 yards. This ranks him at number 10 on the season for most passing yards. And what's even more impressive is that he didn't even start in week 1. Remember, week 1 versus the Bengals, the Chargers elected to go with veteran quarterback Tyrod Taylor. And it wasn't until a medical injury that Herbert was sprung into action in week 2 with absolutely no notice. It's insane. But what's even more impressive is that Herbert has already served his bye week on top of not playing in week 1. That's right, he still ranks at number 10, even having played 7 games. There are several quarterbacks in front of him who have played 9. Here's the significance of that stat. Herbert is ranked number 2 in average yards per game with active quarterbacks. quarterbacks, so number 3 if you counted Dak Prescott, with 306.6 yards per game. The only quarterback who is averaging more is Russell Wilson, who is averaging 317 yards per game. This is insane for a rookie quarterback. It's honestly an insane number even for a veteran. The guys behind Herbert, Matt Ryan, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, and Josh Allen. Herbert is averaging more yards per game than all of these dudes. So my point here is that when it comes to passing leaders, Herbert has missed 2 games and is still gaining on these guys who have played their full 9 so far. If he keeps pace, Herbert could jump Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow very soon into the number 8 spot. Once other teams like the Bucks, Panthers, and Bills serve their bye week, he could climb even higher. Ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that Justin Herbert could comfortably end the year as a top 10 quarterback, maybe even reaching as close as top 5 in total yardage by the end of the season. And I can't reiterate this enough. He missed a game. He missed a game. If Herbert had played week 1 versus the Bengals and put up his game average numbers, he'd be at 2,452 yards right now, placing him at number 5 just behind Wilson. That is wild. Now let's move on to his touchdown to interception ratio. This should be where we see signs of his rookie mistakes, but honestly, we really don't. His ratio looks absolutely insane, throwing for 17 touchdowns to only 5 picks. But this is something we kind of expected to see even before the season started. Herbert was very good at taking care of the ball in Oregon, throwing for 32 touchdowns and only 6 picks in his final year of college. But that doesn't always translate to the pros, unless that is your name is Justin Herbert. At 17 touchdowns, Herbert is currently tied for 8th place with Deshaun Watson and Drew Brees. I'll actually show you guys that right here. See, 8th place, Deshaun, Drew Brees, Justin Herbert. His 5 picks also ranked very well against other starting quarterbacks. He's just absolutely insane. So where is he projected stat-wise to end up at the end of the year? Well, after doing some basic math, here is what I came up with. Justin Herbert at the end of 2020 is projected 4,594 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. What? But that's not all, because Herbert has been putting up some decent numbers on the ground as well. He should also add on top of that around 358 yards rushing with 4 more touchdowns. That all adds up to 4,952 total yards and 41 total touchdowns in 15 games played. If he had played a full season, he'd easily eclipse 5K yards and around 44 touchdowns. Simply put, Justin Herbert is doing something that we have never seen before. He is putting up Pro Bowl numbers, going head-to-head against the best quarterbacks in the league, and he's shattering records. All of this in his rookie season. But now that I've given you an idea of what the kind of season Herbert is having, I wanted to give you some examples of the top-ranked rookie quarterbacks of all time. I found an article on yardbarker.com that gives us a good look at who to compare to Justin Herbert, and I'll point out a few, starting here with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is the current touchdown leader for rookie quarterbacks. He had a solid year at that, throwing for 3,725 yards and 27 touchdowns. Again, his 27 touchdowns is currently the record for rookie quarterbacks. Justin Herbert only trails him by 10 touchdowns and still has 8 weeks left to go. Remember, he is projected to finish around 37 touchdowns. This would absolutely shatter the current NFL record. Next, let's take a look at Andrew Luck. He had one of the best rookie seasons that I have ever seen, throwing for 4,374 yards and 23 touchdowns. He is the current record holder for the most passing yards thrown in a single season. This is a very tough number to beat. Luck played a full 16 games his rookie year and looked really solid. But again, if Herbert keeps up his current pace, he will likely break this record by at least 200 yards, even with one less game played. But now let's take a look at what many believe, or who many believe, to be the greatest rookie quarterback of all time, Cam Newton. Now, Newton was electric in his first year, and honestly, it put Carolina on the map for me. He was unlike anything I had ever seen, throwing for over 4,000 yards and 21 touchdowns. Adding another 700 yards and 14 touchdowns on the ground. Wow! This gave Newton a total of 4,757 total yards and 35 total touchdowns. It should be noted as well, though, that Newton's interception ratio was not terrible, but not great either, throwing for 17 picks to 21 touchdowns. Still a historic year, but again, Herbert would have him beat. Because again, Newton's total stats were 4,757 yards and 35 touchdowns in 16 games played. Herbert is on pace for 4,952 yards and 41 touchdowns. Absolutely insane to see. Now, a couple more players to note here, because this list does go on. Like, we're at number 7 right now. Let's go up to, let's do Russell Wilson here, number 4 of all time. He did throw for 3,118 yards and 26 touchdowns with an incredible 100 passer rating. He is currently ranked number 4. We take a look at Dak Prescott, rated number 3. He threw for 3,667 yards and 23 touchdowns with only 4 interceptions. He looked absolutely amazing as well, ranked at number 3. Dan Marino, a guy that a lot of people compare Justin Herbert to if Dan Marino maybe was a little bit faster. He threw for 2,110 yards and 20 touchdowns in just 11 games. Highly regarded as one of the best rookie quarterbacks of all time. And then at number 1 was Robert Griffin III, who obviously fell off the map afterwards, but he had 3,200 yards and rushed for more than 1,815 yards in 15 games. He also had 20 passing touchdowns, 7 rushing touchdowns, and completed 65.6% of his passes. Now, note, some of these higher-ranking quarterbacks actually didn't play a full season. That's because their game averages were just so high. So even though Herbert wouldn't be playing a full season, he's still challenging quarterbacks that did. I think my point here has been very well made. Herbert is just special, very special. And when you contrast him against all the other great rookies that came before him, you'll see why he is indeed rising above them all, which to me is absolutely astonishing. This all circles back to my original point. Why should Chargers fans still tune in on Sundays? Well, for one, we should all witness what Herbert is doing firsthand for ourselves. Regardless of what our record is, we should be cheering him on. But on top of that, I feel that there is one more element that would be required if we're going to be labeling Justin Herbert the greatest rookie quarterback of all time. And that is the title of Offensive Rookie of the Year. It would be hard for anyone to think of Herbert as the greatest rookie ever if he wasn't even able to win Best Rookie in the year that he played. And this is something to keep an eye on because of the other rookies also drafted in his class. Like I mentioned before, Herbert is not alone in this race. Rookie quarterback Joe Burrow is having a spectacular year, and now Tua Tagovailoa has also been thrown into the mix mid-season. Like I said, this could be the best quarterback class since the Manning, Rivers, and Roethlisberger class, and it could honestly end up even better, which is wild to think about. Burrow, who many consider Herbert's biggest competition, is going to be tough to beat. He's currently ranked number 8 in passing yards with 2,272 and also touts 11 touchdowns to only 5 picks. That's very impressive. And any other year, he'd be the clear front runner for Offensive Rookie of the Year with no one close behind him. The thing is, Herbert is just better. In comparison, Burrow only leads Herbert by 126 yards. And remember, Burrow still has a game on Herbert, and Herbert is closing in on that number fast. Additionally, Burrow's 11 touchdowns are trumped by Herbert's 17. And again, one less game played by Herbert. And finally, they have thrown the same amount of picks as well. Burrow's end-of-year stats are projected as such: 4,544 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Again, this is mightily impressive. He's on pace to break Andrew Luck's passing yard record as well. As a matter of fact, his numbers look very similar to that of Luck's, and again, Luck was one of the best rookies that I had ever seen. That speaks wonders to how well Burrow has been playing. But when you take a step back, it also speaks for how unbelievably better Herbert is playing too. Herbert would only beat Burrow by a narrow margin in passing yards, but he'd have him beat by 15 touchdowns, which is significant. By year's end, we should see the best duo of rookie quarterbacks we've ever seen, and the Chargers quarterback could end up on top. But that's the catch to this entire video. This is all speaking in terms of could be great and could break records. We need to remember that Herbert is only halfway home, and yes, in terms of first half stats, Herbert is already the winner. But the race is still going, because what we've seen from Herbert so far has been unbelievable, and he must keep the same unbelievable pace in order to shatter these records. This continues as soon as this Sunday when the Chargers take on the Dolphins. Herbert will go head-to-head with Tua Tagovailoa. This is more than just an awesome matchup of rookie quarterbacks. It serves as a statement. You chose the wrong quarterback, Miami. Tua is good, but I'm better. Because this season is now more about narratives than wins at this point for Chargers fans. This is an important one, and every week from here on out are important ones. And Herbert indeed has the benefit of a soft schedule to help him pad those stats from here on out. I'll admit that, which gives me more reason to believe he will emerge as this season's Rookie of the Year. But it ain't over until it's over. Chargers fans, now is the time to step up. I get the losses are discouraging. I get there's so much frustration regarding our coaches, injuring play calling, but as of right now, that is all background noise, because I refuse to let those narratives overshadow what our boy Herbert is doing. But I will say Chargers fans so far have been doing a great job helping vote Herbert to an impressive 5 out of 8 Rookie of the Week wins. And for that, I applaud you. Look at that. It's all Justin Herbert. As a matter of fact, I do want to shout out a community member in Corazon de Rivers of the Bolted for Life Facebook page. I'm a member of this community, and I see her ruthlessly rallying fans every week to go vote for Justin. That is what I'm talking about. Tune in on Sundays, cheer on Herbert, post on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, show the world that despite our record, we as a fan base are strong. And if anything, we stand behind our players, we stand behind our rookie quarterback Justin Herbert, who could, by the end of this season, end up as the greatest rookie quarterback in NFL history. Now is the time to stand up, Chargers fans. Let's get her done. Well, guys, that's all I've got for today's video. If you did enjoy this content, hit us up with a like and sub on your way out. Good luck to Justin Herbert for the rest of the season, guys. This is going to be a tough race. I honestly, guys, nothing is set in stone here. This is why I will be waking up every single Sunday, despite our record, to cheer on Justin Herbert, because now is the time to come in clutch as the best rookie quarterback in NFL history. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next time. This has been The Director, and as always, bolt up and stay frosty.